Hello and welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. Today we are going to make a gull wing card. There may be other names for it, but to me it's gull wings. So I've got all the dimensions out here and I'll go through them with you. But you open up the card and fold it back and you get the greeting, and you can write on here or you can flip it over and write your message on the back. I did put some of the in color shimmer gems on the front, which might make it a little bit difficult to write on. So if you wanted to write on the inside, you could put the gems on after you've done that. But let's go ahead and get started on building this card. Again, I am using the paper and the die cuts from the Frames and Flowers Specialty Designer Series paper. And I'm using the Birthday Wishes greeting from the Simply Said kit. So, how do you build this card? Your center is a piece of cardstock 4 by 3 1/4, and then a piece of DSP or something on the inside. This one, I've got the DSP on the inside, and it is 3 3/4 by 3. And then what I did is I took a piece of 8 1/2 by 11 and I cut it long ways. So this is 11 by 4 1/4. And then I scored 2 3/4 in from each edge, and then 2 1/2 from this score line, which gives you that 1/2 inch piece in the middle for the spine of your card. So again, it's 2 3/4 in from each edge, then 2 1/2 from that score into the middle, which gives you your 1/2 inch piece in the middle. So I did the centerpiece as 1/2 by 4 for the paper, the Designer Series paper, and then you need 2 1/4 by 4 twice for the inside. And this I left blank, but you need 2 pieces that are 2 1/2 by 4 to decorate the front of the card. So I'll put this back on here so that you've got the dimensions for these end pieces, but I didn't put anything here. You can if you want to, but that's how we've got it. So I'm going to leave this here, trying to make sure that it's all in frame so that you can see all the measurements. There we go. Okay, so I'll leave that there and I'll work below it so you've got a chance to put those measurements down. So I've already got things organized here. I've got my piece of 4 by 3 1/4 here. I've got my piece for the middle, and I'm going to do the center just a little bit differently on this one. And I've got my pieces of 2 1/2 by 4 and 2 1/4 by 4. So these 2 go on the inside, these 2 go on the outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this like this, and then fold it forward like this. So we've got our kind of like a gatefold card, but it's going to open like this. So I'm just going to use my bone folder and just tighten up those creases. And I know that I'm off frame for this. I will get back in frame here right away. I'm just, like I say, I'm just tightening up those edges with the bone folder. So what I need to do, I'm just going to, like I say, just move these out of the way so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to take my adhesive, and again, this is 1/2 by 4 Designer Series paper. It's actually going to fit right in the middle. It'll go from score edge to score edge. And then I'm going to take my pieces of 2 1/2 by 4 and I'm going to put them in here. Now this is a different Designer Series paper than this, but it really doesn't show. And by having this, the full 1/2 inch and go edge to edge, it still just gives me that same border all the way around. So instead of having like a really wide border here, because I've got extra space in the middle, it just comes up even. So let's add this piece in, and we're going to line it up so it's the same, it's level with the piece in the middle. Here we go. And we'll take this piece and add it in, same way, lining it up. There we go. So that's the middle of the card, and then we can put our designer series paper. If you want to flip it over like this, if it makes it easier for you to put it on, you can. Just make sure that your paper is the right way up with what's inside, because otherwise the outside will be upside down or the inside will be upside down. And we're just going to line those up and put them down like this. And I'm going to make sure that I'm even with the other side and drop that down. There we go. So there's our kind of our gatefold idea, and then it opens like that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to build the center. As I say, I've got my 4 by 3 1/4 like that. And instead of doing a different piece of designer series paper in the middle, I'm going to use some of the die cuts. Now this happy birthday wishes here was a larger die cut. It looked like this. And I trimmed the edges off to make that card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add them to this one. So I'm going to move that out of the way, move this up so you can see it. And we're just going to stamp this down as birthday wishes right in the middle there. Go. I'm a little bit canted to the side, but that's okay. Sometimes when I can't get right over top, then things get a little bit blurry, a little bit off-centered. So these are going to go on here like this. Now, normally I would kind of dimensionalize this, but if I dimensionalize it, the card won't close. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on the sides of this. And then I'm just going to lay this over like that. You can't really see a difference. It does look a little bit layered, but you don't really see the difference. I'm going to do this way so that I know that I'm even. And am I even? I need to come out just a little bit. The joy of doing things on the fly on video. There we go. And I am just going to take my scissors and trim this down just a little bit. It's a bit of a kind of a harsh edge there. So I'm just going to soften it up with the scissors a little bit. Just come in, make it just look a little bit more rounded. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so this is now going to go on here. And as I say, I would love to dimensionalize here, but I'm not going to, because if I do that, the card won't close. So just some adhesive on the back. Layer this up on the front like that. And then you can use regular adhesive or you can use tear and tape. And I used tear and tape for this one. Just a little piece right in the center of that spine, right there. And then you center this just like you would if you were putting it on a card front. And put that down and then press it in. And then we've got our gull wing card just like that. So you can decorate the front of the card if you want. As I say, I put some of the bling on. So I'm going to add bling to this one as well. And if you are putting this through the mail, you can take another piece of cardstock at a 5 1/4 by 4 or a 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 if you want, and lay it over top, and then the bling won't tear through the envelope. I know there's different ways of mailing things, but the cheapest way to mail things in Canada is just to do through letter post. And that you have to be able to get the card through a certain little slot in the acrylic sleeve. And that's the cheapest way to send it. So I just put a piece of cardstock over top. So that is the front of the card. Opens up, you see birthday wishes, and that's your gull wing like that. So that is our card for today. Thank you for sticking with me through this longer video than I normally make, and I hope everybody had a chance to screenshot the directions. So thank you so much for watching, and let's create together again soon.